here because the outside world rejects you.
Hey, what's up everyone? Here on the channel, we've made it a tradition over the years to break down new Ninja Turtle designs whenever a fresh version of the Turtles drops. And today we're back with another installment because a new version of the Ninja Turtles has recently been revealed. And these are the Turtles from the Raid Shadow Legends game. A few weeks ago, they announced that the Turtles were coming to the game, and we got brand new designs that we're going to break down in today's video. We'll go through each turtle one at a time, dissect all of the elements of their design, and ultimately ask you guys, do these designs work? So let's go ahead, waste no more time, jump into it, and start off with the leader in blue, Leonardo. Okay, so there are a couple different looks we got of Leonardo. We've got a ton of footage from the trailers and teasers that have come out for this crossover, but it looks like they also dropped the concept art for these turtles, and that gives us a much closer look into some of the details of this design that might have been missed in the trailers. Okay, so let's start off here at the top. Here we can see that they gave Leonardo the classic Ninja Turtles headband style, just regular tie off, so not like the full pirate style headband covering that I feel like they keep trying to make happen, but never quite really sticks. I don't know, there's just something about the iconic regular Ninja Turtles headbands that just makes the Ninja Turtles the Ninja Turtles. It'd be like having a Batman cowl without the ears. It just doesn't do it for me. But yeah, they do it great here with the regular style headband, and overall I like the head shape. The face in the concept art is a little bit different than the actual one from the trailer. Some of the features are a lot more pointier, whereas the final look has a more rounded snout, and yeah, the features are just a little softer. This design doesn't have nostrils, which I think that's great. Personally, I'm not a fan of the turtles with nostrils, not even in live action. I get it, it's more realistic, but again, just like the headband, it doesn't work for me when they have the nostrils. The turtles are known for like having that round snout with like nothing there. All the best versions have been like that. But yeah, stepping back, looking at it all, I like the face design that they went with, especially in the trailers. It looks a little bit better than the concept art, so that's pretty solid. Let's go ahead and move on over to Leonardo's torso. We can see that he has this chest plate. I forget what that's actually called on a turtle. You guys always point it out in the comments, so go ahead and let us know down below. But yeah, it's not the typical grid design commonly seen in Ninja Turtles designs. It's more like these overlapping panels with jagged edges. I don't love it, it's fine. I can see what they're going for. Now, looking at some of the accessories on his torso, we can see he's got a diagonal leather strap with 4 ninja stars attached to it. Then going the other way across his chest, he has 2 chains, which look like are attached to his weapon there on his waist. Down here, we can see that he has a tie-off belt with his initial on the buckle, and he's got like these samurai armor flaps down at the bottom, which I think Leonardo also had in like the Michael Bay Turtles movies. I think it was the first movie where he had those. Let's move on over to his arms. On his right arm, we can see that he's got a shield plate thing with like a little face on it. Down on his forearms, we can see he has some wraps, and you can check out his swords there. The hilts have this cool bladed design to them. And jumping over to his left arm, we can see it looks similar to the other arm, except it's missing the shoulder plate. If we move on down here to his legs, we can see he has some shin guards with 2 little daggers that he probably uses in combat, and he also seems to be wearing some sandals. Now let's take a look at his back. The shell looks great. I like the proportion of the size. It's not too over designed. You can see that the sheaths sit crisscross, which look good, and he seems to have like a circle painted on his shell. I'm not sure what that's about, but it does kind of fit the world that they're in here in this raid game. But yeah, that about wraps it up for Leo. Let's go ahead and move on over to Raphael.
Guys, we're about to hit a cliche. Help me out.
Okay, so Raphael's got a distinctly different look from Leonardo. He's way more spikier. Let's start off with his head. He's rocking a regular Ninja Turtle style headband, although his is a bit tattered on the edges there. And you can see that his face has scars, which makes sense since Raph is usually the one getting into more fights. I kind of dig that. Let's move on over to his midsection. His straps are interesting, something new that we really haven't seen before. He's got like this metal ring in the center where like these straps all connect to, making like this X design across his chest. And you can see that there's little spikes on the straps as well, which totally fits his spiky vibe that he has going on here. The front of the shell also has these spiky edges, way spikier than Leonardo's. And in the concept art there, you can see battle scars all over his body, including the front of the shell there, but it's not so noticeable in the trailers. You can see that his belt is almost Nordic style with like fur and feather and metal, little accents all throughout it. The buckle in the center has his initial, and he's got on like this alligator skin loincloth, or maybe it's like dragon skin since they're in this fantasy world. Let's go ahead and check out his arms. On his shoulders, he actually has a spiky texture on his skin in that area, which looks pretty rad. Then on his forearms, you can see that he has these forearm guards with like horns and spikes. Looks insane. If we look at his weapons, his sai have glowing red markings on them, which looks pretty cool, almost like they're enchanted or something, which again would make sense for this world. Now, if we look down here at his legs, we can see that he has spiky knee pads and wraps on his calves, and his toes look wild with the claw toenails like that. They look lethal. His design definitely matches his personality. Lastly, let's go ahead and take a look at the back of his shell. This looks totally nuts, all spiky. You can see he's got a little pouch there on the back of his belt, along with an extra pair of sai. But that pretty much covers it for Raphael. Let's go ahead and move on over to Donatello. Alright, so now we're looking over here at Donatello. We don't get too many clear looks at him in the trailer, so we'll rely more on the concept art when it comes to him. Let's start off with his head. Just like the other turtles, he's got the regular headband, and around his neck we can see he has this like bone necklace armor piece, which again makes sense for this world that they're entering. Pretty cool vibe here for Donatello. Moving down to his midsection, we can see that he has a diagonal strap, which Don is usually known for, so this is great that they kept that here. Down by his regular belt, he's got his initial on his belt buckle like the other turtles, and hanging off of the belt is like this loincloth style piece, kind of how Raphael had, but Don has more of that bone armor on it that matches his necklace. Okay, let's move on over to the arms. On his left shoulder, you can see that he's got this turtle shell piece, and on that same arm, on the forearm, he has some kind of armor. Again, maybe bone or a smaller spiked turtle shell. Not quite sure, but it's something like that. His other arm is relatively simple. He's got a couple straps and a spiked bracelet. His bow staff is a bit different from other versions. You can see that the ends are almost like spiked clubs, which is actually pretty dope. It would make the hits from his bow staff more devastating, I would imagine. Let's move on down to his legs. His knees have more of that bone armor with the spikes on it, and then you got some straps, and his feet are pretty much standard for turtles. No sandals or spiked toenails or anything like that. Finally, let's go ahead and take a look at his shell. There is some kind of symbol painted on it, maybe, and also we can see that the diagonal strap that goes across his back has like these little horns or claws, or maybe their teeth. Anyways, you can tell that he uses these for like close-up fights, or maybe to like throw like ninja stars. The back of his belt has some pouches on it and more of that bone armor. But that pretty much does it for Don. Let's go ahead and move on over to Mikey.
Slow-mo in a chase? I'm losing him.
All right, next up we have Michelangelo, and his head rocks the regular Ninja Turtles headband. Happy to see that all the turtles got this treatment. His midsection has a couple diagonal straps, which Michelangelo isn't usually known for, but in this fantastical world that they're in, the Raid Shadow Legends world, it makes sense. He's got like little throwing daggers on the straps and a small emblem. I'm not sure what it means. It kind of looks like a little shield. His belt buckle also has a little shield design like that with his initial on it, and his regular like horizontal belt has like this chain mesh armor hanging off of it like a loincloth, and then you can see some plated armor on top of that. Jumping over to his arms, we can see he's got shoulder armor on the right side with some like spikes on it. Both forearms have these spiked armor plates along with some wraps here and there. If we check out his nunchucks, there is some new stuff here. The chucks themselves, like the handles, are spiked with flames kind of emitting from the handles. Again, kind of like Raphael's weapon where it seems like it's enchanted, which I kind of like that idea. Moving to his legs, we can see a spiked guard on only one of the thighs, and then his knee pads have metal armor, and then he's got some wraps down here by his feet. Now finally, moving to the back of his shell, we can see he has some throwing knives on the strap, a few pouches on his belt, but that pretty much does it for Mikey's design. Before I give you like my overall thoughts on this, there were a couple of other Ninja Turtles characters that we got in this crossover, and that's April and the Shredder. So real quick, let's go ahead and take a look at them, and then I'll give you guys my overall thoughts. starting with April, we can see they gave her like this messy bob cut look. So the hair's not like super long, but it's not super short either. It's kind of like in the middle, which looks great in my opinion. She's wearing a version of her classic yellow jumpsuit, but it's done in like this fantasy world style. She's got on a brown leather corset, and you can see potions and stuff hanging off of her belt, plus a dagger that she's carrying. You can see that she's rocking thigh-high brown boots. And yeah, if we look at her overall design, there's just like little accessories sprinkled throughout it, like that shoulder pad, those elbow and knee pads, and little details here and there. Now, moving on to the Shredder, he looks insane. They went all out when it comes to the blades on his armor. If we look at his helmet, it's that classic Shredder shape, but with like little blades sprinkled all over it, on the sides, on the top, and his all white eyes look amazing. Moving down to like his torso, you can see that his cape wraps around his neck, kind of like a scarf, and that the armor on his chest has a Foot Clan logo, reminiscent of the 2003 TV show's version. Down by his belt, he's got these samurai style flaps. They've got blades on them too. Even his belt buckle has blades, and it's the same deal with his arms and his legs. He's just covered in them. Realistically, this would be a super tough Shredder to fight. Imagine trying to land a hit on him without getting sliced by one of those razor blades. In my opinion, this is kind of one of the cooler designs that I've seen of the Shredder in a long time. It would be actually cool to see the Turtles try to take on a Shredder this armored up. Like, how would they land blows and bring him down?
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have arrived in the Raid universe. Play now to claim your free legendary Michelangelo champion.
Okay, so overall, what do I think of these designs? I like them. I think they did a really good job of doing their own thing while keeping the big elements that make a Ninja Turtle design successful. It feels like what the 2014 and 2016 Bay movie Turtles should have looked like. You could tell that they were trying to do something like this back then, but in my opinion, it just didn't land because of the faces and just like weird proportions. They were too massive. These Raid Turtles have big muscles, but they look well proportioned, like compared to their overall body. And the shells are like the right size for their bodies. The Bay ones looked like they had huge hunchbacks, and it just looked weird. It looked like they were like bending forward every time when they would fight or walk around. But the biggest thing that makes these designs work over those Bay ones is the face. They kept that classic Ninja Turtles look with the round snout and traditional headbands. Every time I do these videos, I swear, it's like I can't say it enough. The designs, especially of the faces, is what determines like a good Ninja Turtles design. The ability to like change it up and make it your own, but keep that Ninja Turtles look is where I feel like future Ninja Turtle designs that come out will have to like balance when they make their own version of the Ninja Turtles. And I feel like it's a big part if a certain version of the Turtles is going to be successful or not. The original 1990 movie set the bar so high that it's going to be interesting to see if they're ever topped. But yeah, back to the Raid Turtles. I like them. I think this works, especially for like the game that they're in. If this was like a regular movie or something, I'd probably be a little opposed to all the accessories and stuff. But for this game, this looks good. A solid outing. And that wraps it up for this turtle design breakdown. Let me know down below, what do you think? Did you like these Raid designs? Drop your comments down below. Thanks once again, everybody, for watching. If you're new, make sure to hit subscribe and to share this video with any turtle fans that you feel may enjoy it. And I'll see you all in a little bit with another one. Take care.